Let's go with this one.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Nice
Welcome.
program as usual.
Bless up. Welcome.
But one of the things that really bothering me right about now is like from what happened in Sylvans with this thing with Ralph. It's like this is setting a bad precedent for the rest of the Caribbean. Because before we will look at Africa and see all this uprising and all this fighting, and we'll
It's
say,
us.
boy, look at these Africans, how they like to fight and they like to, fight against authority. But now, remember, we are also Africans. We are part of that. We are a generation of Africans. So therefore, look at what's happening in the whole Caribbean now in terms of this whole COVID-19 thing. Everybody start fighting and fighting. And this now we're gonna happen to the small Caribbean islands that we have. Are we gonna become a little Africa in terms of we gonna be having fights in all these Caribbean countries? Eh? Are we gonna kill ourselves? We are talking about the vaccine killing us. But are we as a nation gonna be killing ourselves?
I don't see it going.
Just a little food for thought, because we cannot keep going like this. We cannot keep fighting against everything. You understand? We have to come to a point where we say, boy, enough is enough. You understand? And let's move forward. Because if you look at it, we are not going anywhere. Is every week we're talking the same thing and nothing is changing, and the opposition is talking and they are not, as Fuji said, they are not, they are not giving no alternative. All they saying, it need to be done. We're gonna do it, but how we gonna do it, we don't know. But put us in, and when we go there, we will figure it out. It's the same thing they're gonna do also. So come on, man, let's get together and do this thing, man. Otherwise, this whole Caribbean, not only St. Vincent alone, but if you look at the rest of what happened in the rest Caribbean, the whole Caribbean is gonna have a problem. That's my take.
Alright. Get off your chest on a Wednesday.
Yeah, Crystal, the opposition leader, team need to know what's going on. Otherwise, when they talk and we assess what we see now, we the same one going pulling on and say jumpy gun as they use many years, When Friday talk, they look good and say, he had information, but he making suggestion. You understand, my show? We just beat up on the opposition too much and try to put them in the spot by government place we. And then the things we was moving from as a people and as a nation. You understand, my show? Ralph come with his problem, could forcing things on people. People who have to get time for that they could understand the vaccine, get time to react to the body.
Can't take
And
forever.
instead of forcing on people through it like that, so quick, so soon, so fast. That's the big problem. People had time so that they could be able to think. And nobody will take this vaccine, something wrong with me. What the next step? And just come bully people to take vaccine. That is the Prime Minister going on and bully people. Could just go in and play my class, forcing people for those things, and that is not very great for people who have to take time that will analyze, see what's going on. I don't take the first dose and I ain't taking the second dose because the negative reaction I get from my body. You understand me, show? So low people and give them a fair chance, and after a while, people come out the shell and go towards it.
The only response to that is that we can't wait forever.
That too. But you do understand though that vaccines will produce, or some vaccines will produce a sort of reaction in your body, right? Some people don't feel anything, some people get a little fever, some people feel the chills. It differs from person to person. That's why when you go for a particular vaccine for your baby, they tell you give the baby Panadol before you bring that baby to the clinic, because it produces a certain reaction. I really don't. You could take a paracetamol before you go and take your second shot. Go and get your second shot. It defeats the purpose.
I saw somebody sharing, I think it was last week, I don't think we shared it, but I read it after, that they took the vaccine and they fainted after. Fair enough, right?
I think we said
Might have been,
when Thompson
it
wasn't
could have
here.
been, I can't remember the definition.
Yeah.
Right? But
Pretty
it
sure.
could have been an adverse effect. Maybe some type of phobia or something. It could have been just you being a little bit paranoid,
That's all. Maybe
But
they
what
could
about
die.
those persons even before they took the vaccine? They sit in there, normal. It's time for them to take the vaccine and they fainted.
Yeah, some people just don't like needles.
There's some persons who fainted after taking the test, the PCR test. What about those persons? Just asking, just wondering. We played that one already. There's another one. We got them lined up. There's another one.
Good morning, Bridget. Now come to think of it, right? The CMO and all the health officials and civilians and Grenadians cannot even get together to treat the PM for a simple bus head or bruise to his skull, right? That was to be flown out to Barbados for a simple MRI. And yet, you think we should be trusting those people to put vaccine into our bodies, which they can't even explain much to us? For me, when you're doing in such field, at least you should get product knowledge, educate people. You don't just go about telling them about taking the vaccine and this and that. You educate people more. That is how we influence people, by educating them, not by forcing them.
Fair enough, but I don't think not having an MRI is really a trust issue. You know, it's more of financial what we're doing in terms of retrofitting.
Yeah, you can't trust them to come up with the money to put in an MRI.
Getting ready to wrap things up on the inside, getting off your chest on a Wednesday morning.
Don't forget you still had that thing to play, eh?
There's this one. Let me see. Somebody sending one here. Somebody says, I took my vaccine 2 doses and I am feeling good. 4 months now. I'm feeling good. Kudos to you. Okay, so there's this last one. There's this last one right here. We're going to play this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe we should say what it is before. It
sounds like a
sounds like a recording. The voice of what appears to be the voice of the Commissioner of Police, basically sharing what should happen if you so desire to have or stage any form of protest. There's a procedure, there's a standard procedure that is in place that must be adhered to. And according to what is being said, that was not the case with the last protest that was staged. All right. There is an article as well that was shared, but let's go ahead and play this. Give us your thoughts on it. For those of you who can get in. All right. Anytime now.
The date of the 5th of August 2021 is a very dark day in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A day where some members of the public, apparently supported by members of a political party, mounted what I would say, without fear of cancellation, they mounted an illegal protest. Why was it illegal? Because they did not seek authorization, or they did not inform the Commissioner of Police that they were going to protest. Before someone can have a public meeting or a procession, they should inform the Commissioner of Police at least 24 hours before this public meeting or procession should be taking place. Several persons, including the Prime Minister, were assaulted, and I just want to use this forum to humbly apologize to the Prime Minister on behalf of the members of the organization for what transpired generally and what happened to him personally. I would be the first, and I think I'm man enough to publicly admit that the police on that day perform below par. The police, we were, in my opinion and from my observation, too tolerant on that day. We did not enforce the law on that day. Since then, we have had briefing, and we have learned from our mistakes. We have seen areas that we did not come up to par, and we would ensure that things of this nature does not repeat itself in the future.
What are your views on it? Get them in quickly. Alright, get them in quickly. In the meantime, the CWSA wishes to notify residents of Chester Cottage, Mount Young, Byra, Connery, Bellevue, Mount Grennan, Sanssouci, Diamonds, Newgrounds, Lomans, Windward, Hadley's Village, South Union, Adelphi, Jeffrey, Spring Estate, Peruvianville, Yambu, Argyle, and Lower Calder that your water supply will be disrupted tomorrow, Thursday, August 12th, 2021, between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 7 p.m. This interruption is required to facilitate emergency repairs, emergency repair work on multiple transmission main lines. The CWSA regrets any inconvenience caused. All right. So he says that the police on that day performed below par.
You know you would hold on to that.
Below par, and they were too tolerant. What does that mean? Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome.
Morning.
You're not listening to all of this carrying on and I don't even know where to begin because I could talk all morning, but I know I don't have all morning. But let me just say,
Neither do we.
right? There is a constitution in this country here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are provisions in the constitution that allows people to assembly and to air public air their views publicly with their hindrances and them kind of stuff, right?
You right together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But how is so little being mentioned about the constitution lately? Well, not now. It's a long time thing, but like it's totally pushed aside right now. Like we don't have a constitution again. Everything is just happening right now by I don't really know. You see, I think we need to go back to the constitution. And in closing, 20 years of wickedness and injustices happened in this country here. And I just want to sum it up short.
We mean 20 years.
From Marcus the Freitas right up to Mr. John recently here. Nobody get no justice. That includes the teachers, them. Everybody knows the whole history, right? But now, justice on the platter, man. Justice instantly. For one little incident, which in my opinion, could have or should have been avoided.
All right.
We got to stand up. We got to stand up for our children rights in this country here. The way things are going in this country here is not the way it's supposed to be. And I am saying this. Saying this. It must change. It must change.
All right. Okay. Good. I'm still trying to understand that.
20 years, but you guys had the opportunity to change it last year, and what happened?
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. All right. Below par. To some extent, I agree. Especially as it relates to the safety and safeguarding the Prime Minister, below par. I'm not understanding the too tolerant part. What does he mean when he said that the police officers on that day were too tolerant?
Perhaps there were things that were happening.
They should have applied force.
A little more force, maybe when they noticed that things were perhaps getting a little out of hand. So maybe you were moving certain things when you shouldn't have, right? The fire started before the Prime Minister came back in. Maybe at that point is when you really should have instilled a little more force.
Okay.
But I mean, it must be a very hard job to be the Commissioner of Police because you are approaching a lot of people. They are disgruntled. They are angry, obviously.
And you're gonna go
if you
to them
go
with
and
force,
you instill more force,
then
you might very well get a very negative and a worse response.
Here's something that you can ponder upon for the rest of the day. Good morning, caller. Let's take this one first. Good morning.
Man, I don't think people will be able to protest again based on existing laws that wasn't followed.
We would find out. So we will just have a protest for the sake of for the right to protest then.
And what the Prime Minister said. Because they can't protest 100 feet from any government building. You're not supposed to protest between the hours of 8:30 and 5:30. You can't impede and disrupt the parliament. The noise will disrupt the parliament. You can't insult anybody going towards there. And now I understand why Yugi was arrested, because it might have happened in that area.
Why Yogi was arrested?
So
Oh, right.
So it doesn't, and you need permission from the police to
Yes.
have it, and if they decide not to give you, and the police could break up the
I
protesters
can
when
tell
they
you
like.
one
So
thing is
based on
for
all
certain.
that,
One thing is for certain, it is gonna lead to further unrest here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You wanna bet?
some people might back down. You think or no?
Back down, or
A
some
lot of
people
people
will
might
become
back down
more
and
aggressive. People will just become more
Yeah.
aggressive.
All right.
Trying to
Time will
enforce
tell.
all these, nah. It would
The-
never happen. I don't see it happening.
The
No, yes.
Constitution says, right, in terms of fundamental rights and freedoms, you have a freedom of conscience, of expressions, and of assembly and association. It further says that protection of freedom of assembly and association, it says, except with his own consent, a person shall not be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom of assembly and association, that is to say, his right to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular to form or belong to trade unions, and so on and so on and so forth.
There's something to ponder on, right? The too tolerant part. Perhaps they were too tolerant. Was that their way of protesting? Was that their form of protesting?
Protesting against what? As in,
The
in
police,
addition to
remember the police. So you had representation from the Public Service Union, from the Nurses Association, from the Teachers Union, and from the Police Welfare Association. Remember, police officers, you can't go out physically and say, well, boy, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. We're going to stand up with placards and all these type of things. They could have called in sick, for example. They could have gone on a go slow, for example.
But you
Maybe,
also...
what if this was their way of protesting?
I disagree. Because
You disagree, you disagree based on what?
the Commissioner of Police is the one who would make the decisions. Whether
The police
you
commissioner
enforce...
cannot decide whether or not the police officers protest, Crystal.
No. You said too tolerant, and you said maybe this is their way of protesting.
No,
is it the too tolerance
The
there?
commissioner, his conclusion is that they were too tolerant.
Well, if it is in fact him who was speaking in the recording,
whoever
there.
the voice is, right? My question is, what if this was probably not all of them, but some police officers' way of protesting? That is what I'm
The
asking.
too tolerance there.
With why we draw the conclusion that they were too tolerant?
Wouldn't they go based on orders, though, fugitive? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Maybe they turn a blind eye to what was happening. Orders from whom?
Their
The protest is
superiors.
really to go against whatever is in place. So your superior could say whatever they want. Say
Yeah,
to hell
but
with him.
I don't get the impression that the superior said you guys should be more forceful.
Nah. Based on what happened,
I don't
based
get
on
that
what happened
impression based
before.
on what we just played. I don't get that
So
impression.
maybe
it says
those,
that we were too tolerant.
Maybe
to give the order for you to put on your riot gear, put on your this, initiate XYZ, throw the tear gas or whatever. It has to come from the superiors.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps.
And good morning, final. Yeah, I think we missed that one.
All right.
A few more. No, we sure. All right. Probably won't be able to take any more calls. I agree that they were too tolerant. I've seen things on videos where officers were there and held their reserve. Things were things. Can you recognize that? Things where people could have been arrested. I think I
should have been arrested.
I think I
like the guy
saw,
in the video who pelted the big stone.
I think I saw
He should
somebody
have been
wetting
arrested.
down. I think I saw somebody wetting down the commissioner of police.
Arrest him too.
I think I saw that.
People
Good
who
morning.
threaten the minister of health, arrest them too.
Good morning.
Yes, Eugene, Crystal.
Oi.
Take a few seconds.
Yes, please.
Now, why isn't the government changing in St. Vincent? Is it
Because people don't vote them out.
Listen to me. Is it because people not voting for a change? Or is it because the election is being...
People not voting for a change. Full stop. Let's go again. Who's there? Good morning. All right. Not going there this morning for sure. With the final few seconds that we have remaining, you mad? Next thing you say something and we don't have time to rebut it and defend ourselves. Listen.
Then we can come back tomorrow.
Let me see. It looks like we might be heading for a war. Remember I was asking you yesterday? Remember what I was asking you yesterday? Listen. Where did it go? This one. So if that happens, if it happens that NDP should go in power and the ULP or other groups want to protest, what is it gonna be? Stick to the Constitution, I guess. Final entry. Good morning.
Yes, quickly. And this one is addressed to Crystal. I noticed you saying that in terms of when you were making the point about suppose the two tolerance was basically the police officers and themselves. That's their form of protest. I don't understand why you can't see that point, because the very fact that the commissioner or whoever said it might be part of the hierarchy, that doesn't mean they themselves is not part of the protest.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't assume that there's some division, right? Maybe the commissioner is referring to something that he knows, all right?
Good point.
So, yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. That's it right there. That's it right there. All right. Here's one. Wrapping up.
Blessed good morning to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines.
Blessed
Coach
love,
Crystal,
my brother.
Good morning.
Morning.
Very, very wonderful program today.
Thank you,
I just
my
want to
brother.
put in my 2 cents.
Bring the 2 cents.
Police
and come.
officer call in about 10, 15 minutes. About 10 minutes.
No, it was a voice note, a recording that was played.
I'm going to tell you something. It's people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and the opposition side, they're very, very upset because of what's going on in St. Vincent.
Not only the opposition,
prices
I tell
are
you
going
that.
up on a lot of stuff, and wages is not going up. So people are frustrated. And all due respect to the Prime Minister, but I think on that day, on that present moment, he had no business being in that place at that time. It's just like you're throwing raw meat in a pond with a bunch of piranhas. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna eat them alive. So you know what? I think the police officers did a really, really good job, because you cannot fight fire with fire. Because at that day, the retaliation of the police was brutal. Things probably would have been a lot worse. So kudos to the police officers.
Blessed love, my brother. Anything you wanna
They just add to what Leacock was saying in the parliament for hours upon hours upon hours. Commissioner should be held responsible for such and such, and he should not have gone out. They basically agreeing with the opposition's stance on the entire matter.
Hey, we're gonna end it right there. Tomorrow we got drama. You want drama? Come for some drama tomorrow. Yeah, I telling you. Yeah? You got drama?
Tomorrow already.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for your calls, WhatsApp messages, and voice notes. All right. Thank you for joining the live as well. Join us again tomorrow morning from the same time. Early in the morning. Make sure you wake up, put on your alarm. Yeah. All right, and join the wake-up call from about 6 in the a.m. All right, coming up next is The Equator with DJ Stumpy and DJ Q. Keep it locked.
Somebody says enjoy y'all day from the Kirby family.
Hey, Kirby's.
Thank you.
Make up yourselves.
Yeah. Do likewise enjoy y'all day as well.
All right.